the business skills. We tell them it's a great feeling, your staff will love it, we love it, and it's good fun. Let's do it. And so, let's assume your company's agreed. The first thing you do is you get yourself a group of energetic staff members who want to volunteer, and you call that the company task force, and they visit the village that we've helped select for them, and they've got all the details to establish contact and rapport. Now, before the task force visits the villages have already started something. They have started in themselves a village development committee, because this is a partnership. It's not somebody sitting there empty-handed waiting for Santa Claus to arrive or waiting for USAID to come along. No, they're planning their own future already. And the Village Development Committee is responsible for carrying out the community needs assessment. What are the needs? What do we see as our dream, our hope, our aspirations of the future of our village? And they also then transform that into the village development plan. No PhD required. Very easy, very simple. Just teach them how to do it. The company acts as a partner. Please don't call it my village or the XYZ, the McDonald village or whatever. That's the last thing you should do. The village has its own name. Call it by its own name. We already have enough problem with the woman having to give up her surname to take as a man's surname in marriage. Let's not do that to the villagers. Let's be gender equality in our approach. So the company acts as a partner to the villagers, not a condescending boss or helper, giver. And there are 4 steps in this process. Step number 1 is the villagers carry out by the Village Development Committee a need assessment. They take 2 days over that. Then, after that stage, they go on what is called an eye-opener trip. They travel to see advances, businesses, successes as done by other villages in other parts of the country. 5 days. And they come back with very, very good new ideas. And then third stage, they come back and improve the plan. They identify who they work with, time frame, prioritize, everything is done. And then they implement the activity with the help of the company, with the help of PDA, and whoever else they identify to help us with. Now, the villagers participate in the entire process of planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. And that is part of the empowerment. That's terribly important. Now, the areas usually that the villagers ask on is these areas: children, youth, education, water, health, environment, and so on. Each project that requires cash must be exchanged with trees. It's not a matter, please give me money. No. We have the labor, we will plant the tree, and you have the cash. Together, let's plant the tree for the world. The world gets trees, and the village gets the microcredit fund. That's what they need. So it's always in exchange. Never here, here's the check. Never. And just repeat again the 3 components: community empowerment, social development, economic development. Let me just go through just the first 2 very quickly. The Village Development Committee comes from 3 groups. The Village Bank, which is an elected group of bankers. Imagine if all bankers were elected, what sort of banking system we could have today. Pretty good. The Village Bank, 8 members. Council of Elders, 8 members. Important to have elderly people involved. And then also the youth government. So we have people of today, yesterday, and tomorrow. They're involved. Altogether, 8 from each, so that's 24. Gender equality, 50-50-50. Their job is for planning and implementation. They bring everyone in, they get the villagers in. And the Village Bank does the lending. Again, half the bankers must be women. We don't have a program unless half of the women are involved. Next one is the Youth Council. They have to resign when they have reached age 25. What has been very exciting over the last 10 years is that once they've resigned, because they're 25, they have to resign, they have been asked by the people to run in the regular local government, and everyone who stood has been elected. So we're now getting these good new people into our democratic system. We're trained to do everything. Why aren't we trained to be good, honest politicians? We're full of crooked politicians around the world. Even you have some in your country here. Now, we have a whole lot, of course, in our country, a lot more than yours. Now, these are the people who will go out with project proposals to companies and say, here, we have a proposal, please consider it. And then the Council of Elders, to make sure elderly people, they're going to live a long time. In the villages, we count from 50 onwards. 50, you become elderly. In Japan, you're still a junior there until 70, and then you're considered senior. The village bank, very, very important. Now, this is where I would like to suggest you take a look carefully. You can combine activities. This is planting trees to generate capital formation. And here I would like to repeat, I'm very perturbed about this the bottom of the pyramid. Stay away from Egypt, please. What we need to do is go down to the bottom of the pyramid and help these people earn money so they can use that extra income to defray some cost of education, defray some cost of health, and other things, including being exploited. Don't go and sell your junk to the poor and going to the bottom of the pyramid. Go and help them earn income so they can put that income into education, into health, and to other things that helps their family. Please don't follow this rubbish about going to the bottom of the pyramid and making money from the poor. You should help them to make money, let them buy the necessary things, and then one day they'll come back and buy your brandy and other junk. Now, income generation, economic development. Sorry, I pressed the wrong one. It starts off with a company providing $1 per tree that's planted. Everyone joins in, it's organized by the youth, they take care of the trees, and every tree planted is $1, and every tree that's dead after a year is minus $2, so make sure the trees don't die. Everybody participates, and in this case, 10,000 trees, $10,000 in the bank. It's capital formation as well as environment. And there are many sorts of trees, including jatropha, there's bamboo, all sorts of trees that it's appropriate. The village bank lends out the money. 50% of bank profits, to make it sustainable, go to help pay for elderly and children's health care and other needs if they cannot take care of themselves in the long run. So that half the profits of the bank, imagine if we did that around the world, half the profits of the bank going along these ways, we wouldn't have too many poor people. Now, these is just some of the loans into simple handicrafts, into pigs and vegetables and goats, nursery, trees, making of curry paste, second-hand goods bottles, barber shop, making batik, motorcycle repair. This is a special program where grandparents and grandchildren are encouraged to do business together so that one day the grandchildren can take care of the grandparents. Very simple. It's not a Western method, but it's our own method, and they can work together very well. Now, company staff can give additional ideas in terms of new businesses. Second-hand goods. Look at what this hotel could give them. So many things. And they would sell it and put the money into the village bank. And here's a whole list: electrical appliances, medicines, paper, shoes, clothes. They sell it and then put the money into the village bank, capital formation. Now, this is a very important one. We don't sell this. These are the computers given by companies. We put up these IT centers. We're now working with Microsoft to help schools and other centers provide training, and so they earn extra money. But the top right-hand corner is a special program where grandchildren teach grandparents about computers. Otherwise, they wouldn't come to learn. But if their grandchildren bring them along, it's a very lovely program. But again, second-hand goods. And then help to improve existing products, processes, new designs,